Smith?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Hey,
hear you.
don't put me on video yet.
Don't put you on video yet. Jesus fucking Christ. Your
All right.
camera's sideways. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, yeah. Better. Do you want it to be up and down?
No, no, it is up and down. Sorry, it is vertical.
Oh,
It's not oriented in the way that you probably want it to be. I cannot believe this is happening.
man, I spent so much time on this.
I can see that. Hey,
But
before I put you on the camera, you're
it
18.
looks all right.
You're 18, right?
I'm 28.
Okay.
All right, just I'll figure it out in a
I just
second.
I have to have it on record that I asked you.
This is all right.
Well, if this is your first time watching Mr. Girl Hot, wait, no, you're still vertical.
Oh yeah, I said I'll figure it out later.
What? I can't put you on the TV vertically. Don't you have to just turn your device sideways?
Well, my device is sideways.
We'll just like hang up and rejoin the call.
All right.
Or sorry, turn your video off and on or something. There's got to be, or turn your landscape lock off. Anyway, if this is your first time watching Mr. Girl Hotline, this is probably going to be the weirdest thing that has ever happened on the show. I would describe what I'm seeing, but I think it's best if you just see it yourself. That didn't fix it. No. It was right at when you first joined.
Okay, wait. I'll just leave. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be one of the weirdest things that we've ever seen. We're going to have the caller on the screen here. I don't want to put him there yet.
Sideways.
No. Yeah, it's still wrong. Still vertical. I think your device orientation is locked incorrectly.
I didn't do anything.
Yes, you did, Smith. Yes, you did. You like that shit?
Don't make this sexual.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to make it sexual. Let's not be
Okay,
weird.
I think this is okay. It'll be okay, and I'll figure it out
No,
later.
it looks terrible. We can't. I can't have that on my show. Why don't you just here?
What if I do this?
That doesn't fix it. Oh, there you go. There you go. It fixed it.
Yeah, that did fix it. I was right.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready. This is the moment your whole streaming career has been leading up to. I know. I gotta stretch.
All right. When you're done stretching, I'm ready.
Okay. This there's nothing I can say to introduce this, so just here we go.
I'm in pain. Yeah.
Oh, so I was muted for a second. You're in some kind of dog cage, it appears. Do you want to explain that?
Um. Not really. I want to talk about Death of the Artist.
Death of the artist. Okay. Go ahead.
Can I come out of the cage?
No.
Well, it doesn't matter because I'm coming out.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
No, you are not.
I told you not make this sexual.
You will get back in that cage, Smith.
Man, I was in there the whole time I was waiting.
That's a long time.
I wasn't really. Your concern made me have to regruff on that. All right, I'm a little bit exposed. I should get.
Yeah, you should get dressed. This is a
Yeah.
talk. This is a talk show.
Yeah.
So, to give people a little background, we've never spoken before, but you're a patron of mine.
Yeah.
And you've had a lot of complaints about me, specifically about super chatting interactions with me, monetizing parasociality, and a lot of people in the Discord have called you parasocial and manipulative as a result of these.
I don't think anybody said that, but I think that's on you.
Okay.
Do you think I am?
A little bit, but that's a nice shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe I am.
Okay. So how can I help you, Smith? What would you like to talk about?
I wanted to talk about Death of the Artist.
Okay, what does that mean?
So if anybody doesn't know, I'm sure you're familiar, but Death of the Artist is the idea that once the artwork is done being made, it doesn't matter what the artist has to say about it. It doesn't. Nothing they think. Nothing about them matters once the artwork is made. The only thing that matters is me and my subjective experience with the artwork. And I would say that Death of the Artist is a synonym for the customer's always right. It's very capitalistic, very product oriented, sees artwork as just a product. And I see artwork as more than a product. And I think this is actually kind of central to what I see as your mission. In a way I can get to. I think that I want to make a metaphor. I want to talk about the Holocaust. I want to talk about your conversation with that art historian about the Holocaust.
Okay, so just to fill people in, Cuties is a 2020 film. Now, to fill people in, I had a conversation with a World War II historian about the Holocaust that went off the rails when I pushed him to talk about basically like, why did people resent Jews? Like, was there any basis in reality for people's reasons to resent Jews? And I feel that all racism is based in reality to some degree. It can get obviously super out of hand. It can get twisted, contorted. There can be unfair assumptions that are just not true. But then other times stereotypes and feelings of resentment are based in things that are true. And I was trying to say to him, like, just because something's true about a group of people, that doesn't mean you have to hate them. And even if you do hate them, that doesn't mean you have to persecute them. But he was super resistant to that. And then I tried to bring it back. I basically said, he was willing to say bad things about white people, basically. And I said that I thought his views and comments about white resentment and white grievance were anti-white. And then I thought affectionately called him a motherfucker because he kept making passive-aggressive comments to me. And then he demanded that I apologize. I refused, and he left.
Right.
Okay.
The part that I want to focus on is his framing of the Holocaust and the way you wanted to have, and I was interested in that conversation because I knew that you wanted to frame it in a certain way. You wanted to look at it, what I would call from a very artistic or empathetic perspective, where you wanted to empathize with the people involved. You wanted to, what is going on in their heads?
Yeah, what would it take to get me to turn my neighbors over to the Gestapo? What would it take for me to like pull the lever on a gas chamber full of people who have committed no crimes or done anything wrong to me personally or to the state, what would it take to get me to be, totally desensitized to mass murder, mass deportations? That is the conversation I want to have. I want to understand it. It's obviously it's easy to understand why, like, yeah, why is it bad to be killed by the government? Like, that's super easy to understand. What's not easy to understand is what were they thinking or feeling?
Right. And going into that, because I actually have some anti-Semitic feelings,
Oh,
because but
oh
like
yeah,
I mean,
you talked about this in the Discord.
and but I want to resolve those feelings, and I want to talk about it, and I noticed there's a lot of rich Jews, and there's a lot of famous Jews, it sort of makes me uncomfortable, and I want to learn from the Holocaust. I don't want to be anti-Semitic. I want to learn what those people. I don't want to go down that path.
Oh
So
well, you've come to the right place, Smith.
I know. So
Okay.
when I saw you were having that conversation, I was like excited because I want to know exactly. A historian of the Holocaust is going to tell me exactly how their brain went from point A to point B.
Yeah.
He didn't do that, and I think that his perspective, as my background is art, and I think that the way I frame it is he was very death of the artist. They are done. As much as you can call the Holocaust a painting, um, that painting is now created. The people who made that painting don't fucking matter. Cut them off. It's only me and my subjective, detail-oriented connection with this painting or the Holocaust. And it's a very important painting,
Well,
right?
yes,
I mean, just
sure,
let me
but
make.
if it's a painting you're trying to prevent from being painted again, then you should probably try to understand the motivation for painting it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that also I want to know. Okay, like a lot of people that are gung ho about Death of the Artist as a singular. I think it's great to have your subjective experience,
Hmm.
and important. But I think that that's half of how you appreciate art. The other half is, or not half, maybe it's 80%. But the other 20% is where you kind of psychoanalyze and empathize with the artist. Another human being made this, and like I'm so compelled by it. So what the fuck made them make that? Like,
Sure, but
and that,
again, if your goal in analyzing something is to prevent it, I would say it's more than 20%. It should be.
right. So if your goal is to prevent, I'm saying art at large, because we're making kind of a leap saying that the Holocaust is art.
Well, you've made that leap, so I just want to point out that
Okay.
if I'm making a review of Cuties, I'm not trying to review it in such a way that is designed to prevent that director from making more movies. I'm not like, I think it was unethical, but I ain't that worried about it. If I'm talking about like why somebody does a mass shooting, why somebody does a Holocaust, why somebody rapes or molests kids or shit like that, then I'm more interested in figuring out their motivation, not just to like get psychologically close to them, but to try to understand how to prevent these things from happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
I uh, I think that it's still valuable. Would you agree that it's still valuable to get in the head of the artist, and that's part of an artistic experience with art?
That is part of an artistic experience. I just, if you're going to
That is,
compare it, you're going to compare it to mass murder. I just want to say
no.
it should be weighted more heavily.
Right. In that case, it should be weighted more heavily for sure.
Yeah,
I'm not going to agree.
yeah. So
But
that was probably my primary disagreement with the Holocaust historian, is that he was basically saying, "Who fucking cares why they did it?" And I'm like, "Well, I do, because I don't want people to get hurt."
right. But that what you're describing there is a very high priority on empathy. Empathy is incredibly important in that situation.
Yeah.
But in situations where it's less important, it doesn't mean that we should dismiss it. If an artist is making art where it seems like they're going to commit a mass murder, like they're making art talking about killing people.
Smith, what's your point?
So my point is that people consider Death of the Artist as a singular perspective where you're not allowed to consider the artist anymore. That's out of the picture.
All right, and you're saying it should just be part of the consideration.
Yes, you should consider the artist. We match.
Finally, you sound a lot better when you're closer to your microphone. Just so you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I agree. What?
where do you stand on this? Because I think it would be hard for you to, considering your art and how
Well,
inter-
let's talk about Dahmer,
Dahmer.
the new Netflix show.
Mhm.
So if I were watching it and I were a progressive, gay, and or black person, I would probably not be so interested in the. If I were offended by it, as it seems like a lot of people are, I'd probably not be so interested in the motivations of the creators. I think my reaction would be a much more personal reaction of feeling like why the fuck would you do this? Being me, it doesn't feel as personal to me. I don't feel like identified with really any group, so I'm just like I see how, I think the show's kind of racist and weird in a lot of ways, like kind of pornographic. And then I'm like, that's interesting to me though. It's like it's provocative, and so I am interested in why the creators made it. That's part of my evaluation of the show. But I guess my point is just I think that it's all going to depend on your perspective. I don't think there's a correct way
Right.
to evaluate a work.
Right. I think that my point is that death of the artist is I think it's become, because it aligns so strongly with capitalism and seeing art as a product where it's only your unique experience that matters. When you buy a product, you don't care. You're not supposed to care about who the person that made your product. You're supposed to completely cut them off. And I think that this is like resulting in people having no empathy, where we don't appreciate art anymore in the same way whatsoever. You get banned because when you say shit, we don't want to actually go through your head. We want to just say, no, this is his product he's putting out, so he must. Everything he says is an endorsement because this is a product, and we don't really understand art anymore because we've cut off half of what art is, and that's the artist.
Right. So I would say that it's not that people aren't interested in why I say the things I do, or that that's cut out totally. It's more that there's an assumption that I am saying the things I say because I think they make me look good. I think they're normal. I am trying to encourage and cultivate norms informed by what I say. I want people to be like me. I think they should be like me. I think my followers should be like me and agree with me. And there's all these assumptions now that come with being a YouTuber or a content creator that I agree with you to kind of supplant any thoughtful examination of why anybody is saying or doing what they're doing.
So the way we frame these things is totally different, but our conclusion is the same. I think that we should emphasize, where you talk about emphasizing empathy, I think another way to talk about that, especially in relationship to art, is emphasize the artist. Or if you're talking about the Holocaust, it's just whoever does the thing. We need to get in the head of the actor. Like that's not. We don't have to, but we need to talk about that as if it's a thing that's valuable.
Well, yeah,
And
I think to me the most valuable thing to think about with the Holocaust or something like it, or police brutality or whatever, any kind of tyranny or oppression, is to think about what would why would I do that if I were in that situation? What would it take to make me do that, instead of distancing yourself?
right, right. That's and how better to appreciate art. Like how many times have you listened to a song? We're just agreeing right at this point. How many times have you listened to a song on like whatever Spotify, and it was a one-off by a band, and you come back to it, and then eventually you're like, you know what? I'm going to check out this artist, and then you learn more about the artist, and you hear more of their music, and it's like, wow, now this song has so much more meaning to me.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot. I think my favorite songs all require you to kind of know, and movies, the context. Like last night, Shaylin and I watched X, the new Ty West slasher movie, and it plays with the idea of the final girl, the virgin girl from Halloween, and all the Halloween copycats, and so like after the movie, I was like, I feel like I have to like explain some of the context of this movie to make it'll make it better if you like know certain. I like to explain things to Shaylin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you do.
I do, and so I explained the situation, and she
Right.
nodded very thoughtfully.
And people get very dismissive of the explaining part of art, because there's a massive trend in art of over-explaining art, and artists ever since the 1960s, the artist statement became like mandatory. If you're going to put art in a gallery, you have to have an artist statement. You have to write an essay about your artwork. But I think that it's up to the artists to not ruin their own artwork. It's not up to us to not listen to them if they have something to say about it. But if we agree on all this, we could move forward and go back to what got me passionate about this topic in the first place, which was the AI stuff. And
Okay.
I think the AI stuff, I see it contributing to people's obsession with death of the artist. And I think that the prompt itself is certainly art. I would call that absolutely art. You compared it to a director. I would disagree with that. I think that art is a spectrum. And I would say the very low end of the spectrum, like close to zero, but still art, is found art, where you're just taking something and you're really not adding a lot of form to expression. You're just kind of taking a thing and changing the context, like the urinal that was put in an art gallery. But it's still art. I don't value it, but there's not a lot of agency from the artist. I think a director is basically someone who has 500 AI prompts that make art, and every day they write 500 prompts, and all these prompts go out and they delegate to even more people, and it all comes back, and they take all these 500 things that came back, and then they organize it all together into their vision. And I think that's so much more than any one prompt. And I think that any one of those tasks that a director does in isolation, it's just more akin to a commission. And you can call a commission art. And Andrew Warhol famously stopped making art for like the last half of his career and just told other people what to make for him.
Yeah.
But I don't value that nearly as much. I think that that's closer to the not art end of the art spectrum. It's still art, but we're taking away the artist part. I think a big chunk of the artist part when we're focusing on AI art, and people that think it's the same, like the human is not involved anymore. So now there's nothing.
Smith.
Right.
What's the point here? We're getting long-winded.
The human is not involved nearly as much in AI art.
Yeah.
So that part that I was talking about, where you empathize with the artist, now when you try to do that with an AI, you're trying to think, what about the AI made it do this? And you're not empathizing with the human. You're not learning anything about yourself.
You know, I think this is missing from porn. I think there's a lot of potential to make pornography that makes you think about why the person made it and what it means or how they feel about it, a connection to the creator. But now porn, almost all porn is totally uninteresting to me. I think because of this, because the creators are supposed to be invisible. You're supposed to just take the porn as this disconnected thing with no ties to any actual person who made it, and somehow enjoy it, and I don't.
Right.
This is why TikTok is my porn. Instagram is my porn, because you can see the person who's making it and connect to the rest of their life. And I know OnlyFans people do that, but with OnlyFans, it's obviously a capsule in the person's life where they're like, pretend, like, oh, here's me naked, here's me pretending to clean, here's me pretending to work, here's me with my pretend friends, but none of it's real. It's still intentionally walled off from them as a person. But on an Instagram or TikTok, somebody's showing you their butt especially if they're not trying to funnel you to a OnlyFans account, that butt is like contextualized in their life. You get an understanding of why they did that, which makes it much more enjoyable.
In my experience of OnlyFans, it tends to be like that, and not like the I'm cleaning now. But my experience is probably very niche. But I haven't used OnlyFans a lot, so no, don't insult me like I'm a simp. But
Yeah, show up to my live stream in a dog cage, but don't call me a simp.
yeah,
I think it's a little late for that. All right, listen. Do you have any final?
Wait.
What?
How does that make me a simp?
Showing up to my stream in a cage? It just makes you seem submissive and obsessed. Two key ingredients of symptom.
I would say.
So two symptoms of symptom.
I think that means I did a good job and it's compelling.
Good.
But my point was, I think that OnlyFans. I think that's the appeal of OnlyFans, like you said.
Yeah.
We really haven't disagreed yet.
No.
No.
No. Okay. Do you have any final words you want to give before I end this conversation?
No. Do you want to try to superimpose your face on the TV?
What do you mean?
Because then it'll be you having me on the TV, and then on my TV, then there's your face. I couldn't do it. You don't have to.
No, if you're too lazy to connect your TV to your computer and make your Discord call go to your TV, then I'm not doing it for you.
Okay. I didn't have time.
Well, you can put that next to your fucking art piece as your artist statement. I didn't have time.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do it next time.
Okay.
All right. Nice talking to you.
You too.